Good day everyone. Today on the bench I'm going to tie you up an egg laying caddis. This is a nice fly that when these females come back the water to lay their eggs, kind of dance along the top of the water, and they're using the friction of the surface tension of the water to release these eggs off the back into the water. So we want a fly that'll kind of behave like they are, something that's heavily dressed. I can kind of dance that around the top of the water. Not drift it or leave it sit. I'm actually going to move this fly. Okay, let's get ready. I'll show you the materials we're going to use to tie the fly. I'm just going to use some rusty brown 8/0 thread. For the egg sac, I'm going to use some light olive iced up. The body, I'm going to use some ultra translucent dubbing material. I like the way that looks in the water. You can also use a dry fly dub, this is basically an Antron based dub too, from Ligas. The hackle for the body, I'm going to use some Cree Super Saddle. And for the wing, I'm going to use some very fine hair. This has got some nice tips on it and thin, easy to work with dark deer hair. The hook is important. We're going to use a keel balance Gamakatsu. It's a size 14. It's got a nice continuous bend on it. It's a very light wire hook, so it's going to float easily. And the gape on it's much wider than we need, but it'll be in the water. You're going to see only a portion of this, so really the fly itself is going to look maybe like a size, maybe even less than a 14, of course, maybe a 14, 16, because we're going to tie it up the shank a little bit. Okay, this is a fly that's a must-have. Let's get a hook in the vise and tie one of these up and get you on the water. Fishing caddis hatches are a lot of fun. A lot of produce very well too. These fish, like these females, they're coming in. You'll see a lot of active fish when you see the caddis dancing along the top of the water. Pressing the shank of the hook with my thread. Draw on the bend here a little bit. I'll grab me some, and that's important too. I like to use extra fine wire on caddis or my dry flies. A lot of times I'll reinforce them with this extra fine wire. Doesn't add any weight, but it adds some durability. I just got to find the end of it. There we go. And we'll tie that here in the corner. Take that quite a ways down the side, and then I'm going to bring in a little bit of my light olive ice dub. Just roll that on tight with my fingers. Dub that up pretty tight. I don't want it buggy, I want it fairly tight. Get it up there and then we'll roll that down even a little tighter. There we go. And then I'll take a couple turns of my wire in there. Give that a little bit of segmentation. I'm going to leave the rest of the wire on and out to the back on this one. If there's little stragglers hanging out there, that's fine too, because that's going to look pretty good in the water. And that'll look quite different when it gets in the water. Then I'm going to bring in my translucent dubbing. This is a kind of an Antron base. You can use that on really tiny nymphs too. It works pretty good. And then we're just going to dub that on fairly thin body here. Okay. Just cover our thread. And get our body there. We'll leave a little space at the front. Put our wing, get our wing on there. And I'll bring in my saddle hackle. And this can be a little extra size too. You can go a little bigger than gap. This was actually, the gap's pretty wide on this fly too, but I'm going to put a lot of hackle on this fly. I'm going to skate it. I can dance this one along the surface just like the females that are in the water doing their thing. dropping their eggs. Just counter wrap forward. Helps hold that hackle and make it a little stronger every time you can strengthen your flies up. And this extra fine wire really does not add any weight, but adds so much more to it. I'm going to push these fibers back. I just want to lay them back a little bit, if I can. Just help them back. There we go. Then I'm going to come in with a little of this nice fine deer hair. That's one thing I'm very, plus I spend a lot of time in shops. Anytime I go to a store that got hair, I'll go to that place, because all that hair, every patch, or so many different patches have different qualities. And you're going to want hair that for all different purposes. It's always good. And if you get some with nice tips and even, and so I pinched off probably a little more than I need there. Take away some. Take the fuzz out of the bottom. We're going to drop the tips in the stacker. Tap that in really nice. And we should have some black tips coming off of here. Yes, looks really good. Take that right to the bend. And I'm just going to tie that on right there. Pull the butts up, get some good turns ahead to help stand that up. Get my whip finish in. Pull the butts back. And then I can get with 3 or 4 turns from a whip finisher. Put some head cement on there after I'm trimmed up. And I get my butts out of the way here, and I'll just give that little mohawk haircut. And there you go. That's a great little fly. I got the wing fanned out. That's going to help get that float. That's going to float like a top, and I can skate that around. Nice light tippet material. You get a long cast in there, skate it around, and you're going to see fish come from a long ways, come up and eat that. That'll look really good. So there it is. That's what I call my little egg laying caddis. Take that one to the water. I hope you get on the bench with that nice little trout fly right there. All the best, and see you in our next video.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.